Ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 ya da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da da. Boker Tov. We have launched our journey through the Amida. We've spoken, we've thought about, reflected upon the first blessing, Avot and Imahot, the God of our ancestors. This morning we're going to continue with Givurot, the second of the 19 blessings in the daily Amida. Givurot is power, and it focuses on the power of the Holy One to do all sorts of things. I'm going to focus on two of them here. The first is connected with weather and season. And it's a line that changes over the course of the year. In this Givurot prayer, during the winter season, which in Israel, and this follows the cycle in Israel, but also mostly here, fall runs from the end of Sukkot, Shmini Atzeret, until the start of Pesach, the first day of Pesach. During this time, we praise God as Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, as the one who makes the wind fall, the wind blow, and the rain fall. During the summer season, which runs from the beginning of Pesach through the holiday of Sukkot, we say Morid HaTal. We praise the one who makes the dew fall. This shift from wind and rain in the winter until dew in the summer helps us note and mark and celebrate the changing seasons, but it also speaks to a deeper spiritual shift. Throughout the Torah and throughout the Talmud and all of Jewish tradition, rain is seen as a sign of judgment. When you get rain in its season, it is a sign of having earned divine favor. Remember that third paragraph of Shema, where God says, if you hearken, if you follow my mitzvot, I'll give you good rain and early rain, and your crops will grow. And if you don't follow my mitzvot, my commandments, our covenant, I will shut down the heavens and the rain won't fall. So rain sometimes falls and sometimes it doesn't. And again, in the land of Israel, for the Torah and for the rabbis of the Talmud, rain reflects our behavior. So it is, in a sense, again, a symbol of divine judgment upon us. And that's why, in some measure, we have this focus starting in the fall, when our fall holy days have so much emphasis on judgment. It's also the rainy season. But dew is different. Dew is far more predictable in the land of Israel. It just happens. You can more or less count on it. And so it is a symbol of that which is unearned, of that which is given to us as a pure, unconditional gift. Dew is a symbol of divine mercy that is granted whether we deserve it or not. So let's note that we are now in the season of dew, of abundance, of grace over judgment. Reflect on what blessings you might enjoy unearned, gifts of unconditional love in your life. The other line I want to reflect upon in this prayer is Mechaye Metim. Mechakel Chaim Bechesed. Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim. Mechaye Metim means God revives the dead. Early on in the Reform movement, many of the Reform leaders and editors of Sidurim who were writing their prayer books changed this line, Mechaye Metim, to Mechaye Hakol, from God revives the dead to God gives life to everything. And I can understand their reasoning. They did not believe in the literal resurrection of the dead, which is, for most traditional Orthodox Jews, part of their belief system. Not all believe it, but it is part of the tradition. One finds a great deal about it in the Talmud. The early reformers did not believe that when the Mashiach, when the Messiah showed up, the dead would be resurrected out of their graves. I don't believe that either. Confession. I don't believe that for one moment. But I prefer the original wording nonetheless. And our Sidur Mishkan Tefillah, the newest Reform Sidur, goes back to the tradition. It doesn't use the traditional wording as primary, but it offers it as an alternative, and it's what I always choose. I like to speak of God resurrecting the dead because I believe that this can be read metaphorically rather than reading it literally and literally only, and therefore having to change it because we don't believe in the literal meaning. I can read resurrection of the dead many metaphorical ways. It doesn't speak to me as prose, but it speaks to me as poetry. And honestly, if I can't make metaphor out of that, it's the least of my problems. I don't believe God is Melech HaOlam. I don't believe God is literally a king. I don't believe God does about 98% of the anthropomorphic things ascribed to God in the Sidur. So, if I had to read my Sidur literally, my Sidur would be about 2 pages. So I like this notion of Mechai Metim, of God reviving the dead. What does it mean when we think about it metaphorically? The rabbis say that we should say, praise to you, God, Mechai Metim, every time we see a friend or a dear one who we have not seen in a month or more. But think of all the possibilities, all the times you experience renewal in your life. When spring returns after a long winter, when you renew a relationship that has been long dormant. I think of a few times in my life when I have been struggling with depression. And when that depression lifts, it is felt, not literally, but very powerfully metaphorically, it has felt like being back from the dead. So reflect for a moment on when you have felt this kind of renewal in your own life. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Tonight, I hope that you will join us for our Shabbat service. We'll have a special guest, Philip Thompson, director of the Idaho Black History Museum. Such an important voice in every time, but especially in this difficult week for us to hear and to learn from. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, Zoom B'nai Mitzvah of Jacob and Lizzie Wald. Shabbat Shalom. Be well.